Podcast, WATP.
Top Lops, are you familiar with Opie from Opie and Anthony?
Oh, yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah. So he starts off his show, and he's one of these weirdos like your buddy Toad who continues to stream every day even though nobody's watching him. It's weird. Like, it's one thing if you're building an audience, because he'll get 60 people maybe watching him at a time, but he used to talk to millions.
Really? 60?
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. And he'll even go through and acknowledge everyone and say hi to them.
He's got the time.
He's got nothing else to talk about, so it works out. Now, this episode started off with just the most annoying singing.
Baby, I'm howling for you.
Would you ever want to be around a person like this?
No.
This is how his show starts.
It's also like retarded, right? Like, I mean, this guy comes from a professional background, so you put a ring light right in, and then your backdrop is glass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he wants to show off his view so badly that he doesn't care that it looks and sounds like shit. All that matters is that he's showing off that he's got a nicer apartment than you do in Manhattan. All right, let's find out who the guest is going to be on his show.
Get your questions in now, the description says. Well, yeah, we're going to have Jackie the Joke Man on in a few minutes here from the old Howard Stern show. And, you know, Jackie's way more than the Howard Stern show. I'm way more than the Opie and Anthony show. There's so much more to us than one lousy, no, it's not lousy, one huge radio show.
He caught himself there. Yeah. So you're bringing on Jackie from Howard Stern. What a lousy show you were on. I would argue that Opie is not more than Opie and Anthony, and Jackie is not more than the Howard Stern show. Jackie's done very little since then that anyone's taken note on. And who else could Opie be? Like, what would you say about who Johnny Carson is, or David Letterman, or Larry King? Like, from their shows. That's what they're most known for.
Yeah, and they're okay with it.
Of course they're okay with it. It's normal to be successful and be like, yeah, I'm known for Opie and Anthony. Of course that's what you're known for. Way more than that, man. Oh, he's another guy. Top Lops, I'm glad that you pick up on the way people talk and where they articulate words and emphasize words. Because Opie's another guy that I'm pretty sure that he is doing an impression of Opie now.
Yeah.
He's doing an over-the-top impression of what other people who are goofing on Opie would do. To take that away from us, or because he just can't figure out what he's doing?
I think it's when he's lying that he really does that thing.
All right, so he's talking to the chat. Of course, he fills up most of the time on this episode.
Isn't it funny? It's funny to be alive in this time period where you're seeing people's mental decline, but it's all recorded and then time capsuled. So you can just
they're doing
watch
it on purpose. They're putting it out there on purpose. It's not like, damn it, you were filming me that whole time? Fuck. People are going to think I'm a lunatic. It's like, no, you're the one who turned on play or record.
You paid quite a bit of money to film yourself, actually, sir.
Right, yes. All right, so this is where he's saying hello to everybody and then gets into some spicy political talk.
Georgie, how are you? Hi, Andy, how are you? What's up, Gail? Good morning from XM 202 Afro. What's up, brother? Or are you a sister? Are you a brother or are you a sister? I think we're allowed to ask that now that Trump is president again. We're allowed to ask, are you a brother? Are you a sister? Only the best guess for you, Hope. What's up, No Bueno?
So now that Trump is the president, we're allowed to ask people what their gender is. Did you know that?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Is that like a black thing? Brother, sister, or is he talking about gender?
I think he was talking about gender, but that's a good question, too. I'm not sure what any of that means.
What color are you?
Yeah, right. Hey, thanks for chatting with me, but before we go any further, what's your race?
Another
your
question.
Ethnicity?
Is it the morning there? Because this person's saying good morning, and it's dark.
Yes, it is before the sun has come up. This guy gets up at 5 a.m. and starts doing this shit.
Toad too. Those are up like early morning. It's insane.
It's not natural. Well, we're going to find out why he has to get up so early to do this. So that'll be at the end of this
So the ring light doesn't conflict with the sun there.
And he's got a guest this early in the morning?
Yes. In fact, when Jackie comes on, Opie's like, sorry it's so early. We could have done this at a different time. And Jackie's, because Jackie's complaining immediately. Jackie never wanted to get up early for the Howard Stern show. He always bitched about that. think that was part of his contract negotiations. All right, so Opie's got the hottest takes on the holidays, and he's talking about this right before Thanksgiving. So he's talking about how Thanksgiving works and Christmas, of course, too.
Let's spend the next 2 days cooking for Thanksgiving. And then the meal lasts what? A half hour? 2 days of prep, half-hour meal, and then that's it for Thanksgiving. And then we're looking Christmas square in the face. Oh, hi, Christmas. How have you been? Yuck.
It's real Ebenezer Scrooge, huh?
Yuck is right. That's my reaction to him.
What's Opie's personality? It's like other people. It's the only thing he knows how to do. Oh, Christmas, yuck. You're like, oh, okay. You have kids. What are you talking about? What are you so angry about? Also, every day's a fucking holiday for him.
It's sad, like years of broadcasting, and this is the level of banter that you're bringing for holidays and events.
Yeah, he's got this crazy thing where he doesn't like Christmas. Get it, guys? Because most people do.
It's creeping up on us.
Edgelord.
He really is, yeah. You spend 2 days cooking. Opie doesn't spend any time cooking for Thanksgiving.
Of course he doesn't.
And who does 2 days? Come on.
Now, there's a bit that he does. It's a recurring bit where he goes, who the man, who the man, who the man, who the man? And he has to tell you who the man of the day is in the news or whatever's going on in pop culture. And so someone in the free chat springs this on him, and he is not ready for it.
No one actually enjoys it. Oh, Richie Rich, I was scared for this. Who the man, 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 who the man.
This is wild. This is a guy who's on the radio for decades. And this is what he thinks broadcasting is.
Who the man today? Oh my God, I'm unprepared for this. I don't even know who's in the news. We were running around all day yesterday, just prepping and getting ready to get out of the city. So I didn't even turn on the TV. I didn't even turn on the TV.
Why does he talk like that?
I don't know.
I don't know, but watching him do this is twice as painful as just listening to it.
Yeah, when we first
he is
started,
a radio guy.
Yeah, when his podcast first came out, we didn't get to witness this. We just heard it.
Yeah.
And it hits you differently when you watch a lunatic rather than just listen to a lunatic.
Right. And you also see how completely unprepared he is for anything.
Yeah. He's not centered in the screen.
No, his head
could cover that ring light.
Yeah, there's way too much head space there. Also, you could put the ring light off center and look the other way. There's so many ways to not do what he's doing.
It's a boomer thing, like to have a very high camera angle. Yeah, you'll see that on Facebook a lot. So he's doing that.
Yeah, but I mean, he should know the headroom thing. He's watched television before, right?
Or even like you're pulling up these comments constantly. It seems like it's part of your show, and you know that the comments are going to go right over your face. So,
yeah, right. Covering his mouth as he's reading the comments. So there's a guy in the chat named No Bueno. And Opie isn't sure if No Bueno's a hater or part of the pod squad. And so he's very cautious. And when he brings up No Bueno's chats.
If anyone
What's that?
If anyone could reach Opie, you go to your settings, you go to general, and then it says pull audio up when you pull up the comments. So the comments will come up, and then your video will just slide up and come back down. Thank you, Opie. I mean, you're welcome, Opie.
Yeah. He won't do it. If he knew how to do it, he wouldn't do it. That's the thing, too. It's like, oh, man, I'm just doing a stupid thing. I don't care. I'm just doing it my little stream for the pod squad. Like, okay.
Don't mind me if I got a thin trigger finger, okay? Because sometimes you don't know who's joking and who's hating.
Okay. Very revealing what he just said.
Yes.
So it's an itchy trigger finger.
Yeah.
Thin-skinned.
Yes.
Opie is thin-skinned. And he just proved that because that was the first thing he thought of. He's just like, no bueno, do you hate me? Should I block you? And it's just like, no, man, I like you. He's like, okay, but I got a thin... And he didn't know where to go with that. That was my translation of that. I just thought it was funny that he knows he's a little bitch. So thankfully, Jackie comes on. Jackie comes on the show and does what Jackie does best, laugh at his own jokes.
Oh, I just want to say, recently, about 2 weeks ago, I went to a golden bachelor party. I'm old. I'm old too, Jackie. Am I?
Oh, I thought you meant you all peed on each other.
No. So,
Ever get that old low-hanging fruit drop that Andy made for us all those years ago? Wow. Yeah, we got it. That's what the other thing that golden can mean, Jackie.
Is Jackie still in Long Island, or is he?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, because he's got a gig. He promotes a gig that he had coming up, and it was in New Jersey or something.
Okay,
So, yeah,
so same time zone. Okay.
He's in that area. Oh, yeah. I know. He had to get up super early for this bullshit.
I was like, the sun is rising, actually.
Starting to light up a little bit. Now, there's a question asked to Jackie that has been asked many times, and Opie acts like he doesn't want to ask it, but he's the one who brought it up on the chat. This is the thing. Whenever Opie brings up the thing, it's just like, why is Anthony saying this stuff? He's like, I don't know why he's doing that. Blah, blah, blah. It's just like, you're the one who chose to react to this, dummy. You don't have to look at it anyway. We had E-Rock on recently, and he was explaining this. So he brings up the question that's asked of Jackie all the time. Did you laugh louder at the jokes that you wrote that Howard said to pump them up? And Opie's just like, oh, man, I don't know. These people always ask these questions. But the way he handles this is crazy.
Georgie Jessel, this is the stuff you get over and over again. But you know what? Why not? Jackie always denied only laughing or very loudly at the jokes he wrote for Howard, but it seems like he would as some way to claim credit or as a signature. All right. Can I start?
Do you want to answer that, or you want me to answer it?
How the fuck would Opie answer that? Hey, Jackie, when you were on the Howard Stern show, this specific thing would happen that we noticed. What did we notice that for real, or were we wrong about that? Opie's like, I got this one. You were never in the studio at the Howard Stern show, Opie.
Famously.
It's odd that. and even Jackson's like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you? I thought I was answering that. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Answer that?
Are you going to call bullshit on that or me?
Okay. All right. So then Opie's cracking himself up here. Well, he's talking about, Jackie would write these jokes and then he'd laugh. And so Opie, you'll notice, does the same thing where he laughs at his own stuff. And he finally explains why that is, because we've wondered about this quite a bit.
Yeah, but sometimes, you do crack yourself up.
And there were times I was...
There are things I say on this dumb live stream. I know it fell flat, but I found it really stupid and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll laugh hard at it. And it's not like because I'm trying to convince the audience that it's funny. It's funny to me because of how insanely stupid it was.
Isn't that interesting? Opie goes, yeah, sometimes I laugh at myself when I'm being really, really dumb. He doesn't bring an example like how he's like clever and surprises himself with something, or a quick quip comes to his head. It's like, yeah, when I laugh at myself and I realize that what I said is the stupidest thing possible. It kind of explains the entire show format now. Now that he said that.
I can relate. I've never said anything funny in my life, so I get it. I get it.
Do you ever do a show by yourself that cracks you up? Because that's embarrassing.
Kids. I got shit to do. I can't.
Because that's what Opie is doing, which is insane.
And he managed to interrupt his guest 4 times with that idiocy.
Yeah. He's trying to cover for Jackie here, and Jackie's not ashamed of anything.
No.
I mean, Jackie goes through a whole explanation of how much he laughed in the studio and why he laughed in the studio, and he was trying to pump up everyone and make the show sound fun and funny, and we get it. Jackie laugh. It's on my board. I have Jackie's laugh, 4 different versions of it on my board. Everyone loves the Jackie laugh.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing wrong with that. So now Opie is not interrupting his guest. He actually asks a question, which is what you're supposed to do when you bring a guest on your show. But this couldn't be a worse question. And watch how Jackie is stumped. You want to talk about stump the joke, man. Watch how Jackie is stumped by this one.
We were both on huge radio shows. What are the 3 things you're asked every single day? Every single day because you were on the Howard Stern show.
Oh
boy.
What are the 3 things you're asked every day?
Every single day.
Every single day because you're on the Howard Stern show. The last time Jackie was on the Howard Stern show, the Twin Towers were still upright.
Standing, yeah.
This is going back a very long time. Do you think he's still getting 3 questions every day from people?
No.
Mr. Martling.
publicist out there. No further questions. Get out of here, you paparazzi.
It's cute to think that people like he thinks people still listen to Howard Stern or that form of radio. It's all
right.
The presidential election was decided by a podcast. Like we're well past this.
Well, and there are huge fans of the Howard Stern show, and they definitely, people still appreciate it. But Jack even says, he's trying to think of something. He goes, no, mostly I just get people saying like, hey, loved you on the show. Appreciate all the laughs over the years. You're not going to have like a specific question about, okay, when Benji Brock came in the studio that one time, and you said to him, like, it's just not.
Wasn't that cool?
Yeah, what are they going to ask this guy? It's so stupid. But that's, and Opie has to make it extra difficult. 3 things.
Yeah, right.
Rather than just be like, I know people ask if you laugh at your own jokes harder than other jokes. Are there other things that people bring up to you or you get questions a lot on? But
Yeah,
no.
why is Opie
3
asking
things.
that? Like, when he walks out his door, is that what's happening to him?
He is implying that.
Opie, name 3 cool things about Anthony.
Oh, well, speaking of that, Opie doesn't talk to the guys anymore from the show. He's got a reason for that.
Do you talk to anybody from the old days from the show?
Just Billy.
Yeah, and I don't really talk to many of the guys from the old show either. It's like I feel like I don't know. I feel like we just did it, and it was more of a working relationship with a lot of the guys. So it wasn't like something that was gonna go past the actual radio show for me.
Yeah, for you.
Right. And again, there's countless examples of the other staff from the Opie and Anthony show doing things together.
Yeah.
Doing podcasts and other shows and things. And Opie's just like, that was a working relationship, and I want nothing to do with those assholes. Like, well, actually, they're the ones that decided, in some ways, they decided they didn't want you in their lives anymore.
Yeah, and haven't we all met up with coworkers from the past and had like reunions with them?
Of
and
course.
shit? Yeah.
Sure.
But Opie had to make it clear. So Jackie is still in touch with Billy, which is cool.
Yeah.
That goes way back. And he does bring up Grillo also as a guy that he talks to. But, he's not friends with Fred or Gary or Howard. And the way he left,
Sure.
there was some bad blood there for a while. They did bring him back to do Jackie's joke hunt on Sirius, but he wasn't in the studio with those guys or anything like that. He was just doing a show on the channel. So
I feel like Opie's interview style has actually finally stumped the joke man.
he really is.
Like, he can't answer these questions.
Jackie's just like, what are we talking about? So Opie has to talk more about why he's not friends with the guys from the show anymore.
It's like when I was on top of my game, I had more friends than I could literally count. And then when you're
It's not a good thing. It's not as good a thing as you think it is, Opie. What's after 80s?
Humble brag.
career takes the nosedive like it did for me, I still enjoy the hell out of what I do, but it's nothing like I used to do, right? You really realize who your real friends are.
So in Opie's mind, they're all users, man, is what he's saying right there. I happen to know two people who have tried to maintain their friendship with Opie, both Eric Nagel and Dr. Steve. And it's impossible. Mm-hmm. Opie's just impossible to be friends with. Just like Stuttering John, he's a difficult guy. You just can't, there's just no winning with this asshole.
Yeah, a little flash of honesty with the nosedive thing.
Yeah, he knows. He knows things aren't going as well as he's doing, except on a $5 super chat.
It's shocking that he couldn't retain any viewership. It's like 60 people. That's stunning almost. It's almost impossible to do.
Yeah. I pointed this out. So when he started his podcast in 2018, he was like 8 months removed from SiriusXM. And so there's all this build up. He's launching Opie Radio, and it came in at number 2 on Apple Podcast chart. That was back when it was iTunes, and that's what people looked at as far as podcast charts. And he lost it all. He had hundreds of thousands of listeners listening to his show when he launched the Opie Radio podcast. And I think it's harder to lose 250,000 listeners than to get to 250,000 listeners, honestly.
Well, yeah, because once you're subscribed to it, you're just subscribed to it, right?
Yeah. You have to like physically be like, oh, this is not for me.
And I'm not giving you money.
I'm out of here.
It's
I'll
hard-
never
yeah.
listen to this again.
I wonder if anyone ever took him aside and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, has anybody ever like befriended him in that way where
Doggy.
you look stupid?
Well, it's interesting because he signed with Westwood One, I believe, was the podcast network that he signed with.
Yeah.
That had a lot of celebrities, and all of them maintained their relationship with Westwood One well beyond the first year. Opie did not. So I imagine there was a conversation or two with some executives who are like, Opie,
What are you
you're
doing?
walking around in the city and talking to strangers. You're sitting in a bar with your Zoom recorder. Like, we got you a studio. I use the studio, bring in guests and stuff. And Opie's like, no, I don't do that, man.
Yeah. He didn't get himself the gig on that Guy Fieri thing. Someone did that for him.
Correct. Well, Carl Ruiz.
Carl
did
Ruiz?
that.
Right.
Yeah.
And he squandered that. He can't do anything.
You know what? It's funny you bring that up. I forgot about that. So remember that Guy Fieri show where it was like grocery store games or something like that?
Yes.
It was called?
Yeah.
And so Opie's friend, Carl Ruiz, was really good friends with Guy. They're both chefs. And he would go on the show and be a part of it from time to time. So he decides to bring his buddy Opie on the show.
I remember that.
And Opie's got, I forget what his role was, but he had a couple of things where he spoke to the contestants or something. And I'll never forget because we're watching
Much
it.
to the producer's chagrin.
I'll never forget because we're watching it and he's holding his Zoom recorder on TV.
Right. He thought he would need that.
Like it's his Blanky or his Binky or something. Like, I need my Zoom recorder, so I'm doing my show.
This is my content machine.
Oh my God.
What are you
Dude,
doing?
I'm looking at his YouTube right now, and I thought you guys were like kind of being,
Mean?
just exaggerating. 147,000 subscribers. What the numbers he's doing here are statistically impossible. Like 76 views on a video 9 hours ago. Toad has 100 and something subscribers, and he's doing 16 views. So like that ratio is much better.
That checks
This
out.
is
For sure.
Wow.
It's shocking, isn't it?
It's
You were
shocking. I feel
genuinely
like
perplexed.
almost fell down when I saw this.
No, the fun thing with Opie, you don't have to exaggerate how far he's fallen. It's very obvious. If he fell out that window backwards right now, he wouldn't fall further than he has in his career. All right, let's get into Dabbleverse talk.
All
This is the
right.
exciting thing. You know the chat's going to be in there asking Jackie about Stuttering John Melendez. And Opie's got an interesting reveal here.
It's Opie and apathy.
So people are asking about Stuttering John. Do you have a good Stuttering John story?
No, I had too many, but I'm not in contact with him. He really went off the deep end and got too weird for me. And I know they have like podcasts where they spend the whole podcast talking about him.
Yeah.
How weird is, and I just I wash my hands of that. Now I guess that makes me guilty,
No,
just like
no,
the other people. But
no.
Jackie turned into a Chinese man when he's talking about Stuttering John. I'm not an expert on posture and body language, but he's like shutting his eyes
Yeah,
so
like,
hard as to
no.
be like, don't let that into my world. Don't let that into my life. I can't have Stuttering John in my life. Fun fact, Top Lobster, Jackie Martling notoriously goes on anyone's podcast who asks him, for the most part. Yeah. He's been on this channel multiple times on shows that I don't host. I reached out to him to come on our like episode 500 or something like that. And I even gave the caveat of like, yeah, we do talk about Stuttering John. We're not going to bring up John. We're going to do this or whatever. And he took a day or two and he wrote me back and very cordially declined.
Yeah.
He does not want any Stuttering John stank on him.
You guys
at all. He's
popped
so
my-
concerned about it.
It looks
You
like he
popped my
has some
stuttering-
on him.
You guys popped my Stuttering John cherry at the event, the live event. Never seen the guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When we did Largo, Top Lobster was with us along with Revenge of the Sis. And those guys are one of the first pair of people who were studying Stuttering John post The Tonight Show and what he was up to. And so we go way back talking about John. In fact, those guys got a DM from John's attorney that was using John's Twitter account with a cease and desist.
The fake cease and desist.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of
of the
many.
first. Yeah. One
Amazing.
of the first. Never mind that this is Stuttering John M. This is John's attorney.
Esquire.
Oh, and I'll tell you why. Once again, nope. We're brothers, brother. We're brothers. I'll tell you something. So for years, there's a whole community that their whole thing is they live stream and make fun of Stuttering John. I think it's called the Dabbleverse or something like that.
I think it's called the Dabbleverse or something like that. It's in the super chat that you're looking at. Don't act like you don't know. Opie has to act like he doesn't know. He's, recently talking about he doesn't know who Carl is.
I don't know who Carl is.
He doesn't know what the Dabbleverse is or something like that.
Okay. They just literally make fun of him. And in the early days of this thing being developed, I fully did not understand that. And I was actually defending, Stuttering John. I posted something that was flattering to Stuttering John, but he perceived it to be I was making fun of him. So he blocked me.
Say, I don't even want to talk about this because believe it or not, what we've said already is going to be 3 weeks fodder for those people.
No. I'm thinking like maybe 10 minutes we do on this, right? I don't think weeks on it, but I don't know if I could stretch it out that much. It would
If you compile all the shows together.
take a lot of work for sure. What Opie's talking about here, I'll never forget, because John was just like, and now Opie betrayed me. He put out that tweet, and John was like all pissed off at Opie, and literally Opie just tweeted a link to a video. It wasn't anything negative about John or anything like that. So Opie's talking about how, like, yeah, he's fucking crazy.
Which I just washed my hands of it because I like Shuley, and I went on with him a bunch of times, and I went on a bunch of different podcasts.
Sure.
That I think have become all part of that network, and I would go on and I'd talk about the show, and then innocently answer any question.
Yeah.
But then they could take anything they want, and I said, you know what? I'm staying away from that. It's that simple.
Fair enough, but I just agree. Didn't go off the deep end because I was like, "Holy crap, dude! I was defending you, and then he blocked me and trashed me."
Yeah,
I'm like, now I kind of get it. All right, we can move on. Trust me, we can move on.
I do like that Opie has come around on this. He's just like, I get why everyone hates Stuttering John. He's a real asshole. All right, we got something in common there, Opie. You see what this chatter says? Again, he just brings up random free chats on his show. And so Rab on here says, Opie, you must have a room you can set up like a studio. Send me your details and I'll do the construction work. Like, there's other people watching this like you and I, Top Lobster, going, why are you doing this? This could be so much better. It looks and sounds terrible, Opie. And he just puts it up there. He's an idiot. So you just heard Jackie go, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about Stuttering John. Let's not talk about it. We're going to get clipped. People are going to be talking about us talking about it. So Opie has a brilliant segue out of this.
We went a half hour without you telling one joke, Jackie. What's wrong with us?
Good stuff, Opie.
One could get a word in.
Dance, monkey, dance. Okay. All right. Now, Opie has to wrap things up prematurely on here, and we're going to find out why.
So who knows?
There was plenty for everybody. Let's be honest, but whatever. Hey, Jackie, I actually got to get the kids up. I know we got to cut it short, but you know what? You know what that means? We'll just do another one sooner than later to continue this.
This Saturday?
Oh, right. Sorry, the big plug. Yes.
Jackie's just like, I haven't done my plugs yet, asshole. Opie has to get the kids up? Whatever that means. These kids are old enough to set an alarm clock. But is he making them breakfast? Like, what does that mean? And what does his wife do? Not to be misogynist here, but Opie, what is your wife doing? She doesn't have a job. She can't get the kids ready for school?
I haven't heard him mention the kids, especially not getting them up. He's
odd?
doing this all the time. He never brings that up.
He gets up so early that he does a podcast for 45 minutes and then has to stop to get the kids up.
I like to think that he doesn't look at the time. He just notices that it's bright out, and he's like, "Well, that's my indicator."
Yes,
that
right.
Light has shown I have to stop this podcast.
He's probably been yelled at before.
On the one time that he has an actual guest.
I know. There's actually something happening. Jackie's engaged. They're having this conversation, and he just puts it to an end. But don't worry. There's one more joke on here.
Leave us with a quick joke, and then I'm going to hit end stream.
So the guy comes back from the doctor and he says to his wife,
Pause it.
terrible news. He says, the doctor told me.
If he ended the stream like right as he started the joke, would have been the best.
Yes.
joke.
And that's what Opie's known for. Remember he had Reese Witherspoon call in?
Oh, yeah.
And just hung up on her immediately. Like, he used to do shit like that on Opie and Anthony, but not so much anymore. You're right. That would have been funny.
The guy comes back from the doctor and he says to his wife, I got some terrible news. He says, the doctor told me I only got 14 orgasms left. She says, what are you talking about? The doctor said, I have totally burnt myself out sexually, that I'm really just about done. And all I got left for the entire rest of my life is 14 orgasms. And she says, holy crap, that's terrible. Well, we better make a list of when you're going to use them. He says, I already did. You ain't on it.
No, he's in on a big laugh.
I was wondering, back to the last clip, if he was trying to cut this short because Opie genuinely does not feel comfortable talking to another human being.
Maybe. It's not a flow. It's definitely not natural, the way that Opie converses with people. He's not used to it.
I know, and I feel like he thought this was going to go differently. I thought they were going to commiserate about maybe John or the Dabbleverse, and Jackie's like, nope, no.
Yeah, that got shut down
Yeah.
very quickly.
Even the way he did it, it's like rookie shit. Like when I'm in an interview and I'm like, this is not going well, I go, Carl, I really want to respect your time. So
Right.
as we bring it in for a landing, he's just like, I gotta go. I think my kids. Or so I was like, this is Bush League bullshit, Opie.
Yes.
Carl, I respect your time more than you. So.
Yes. I think I hear the dinner bell. It's 6 a.m. Yeah, or whatever. We gotta get out of here.
Some bell.
Who are these podcasts?